Welcome to the Guntersville Grassroots Podcast presented by Frog Talks. Today is May the 16th, 2023, and today the Bass Pro Tour kicked off on Guntersville. So I'm sure many of you, like me, have probably spent a little time with one eye on the screen looking at the live stream and on your phone or whatever versus getting as much work done as we should. That's okay. I won't tell. So we're going to have Andrew Nordbye, who is another local pro that fishes the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals, come on to talk with us today. I've been trying to get Andrew on since back in February, and his schedule and my schedule and didn't ever work. Trey's still kind of missing. He's closer to home. He's actually on Wheeler practicing for the Open. We may be able to touch base with him here in the next few days and get him in to talk with us. And he may actually be back in the next week. There's a chance he might actually be here. It's to be determined. I'll believe it when I see it, but he is alive. I have talked to him, and we may try to get him on here before then if he can't make it. So we're going to see if we can get Mr. Nordbye on, let him tell us a little bit about what he thinks is going to happen the next few days in the Bass Pro Tour, what he thinks is going on Guntersville, and whatever else he'll share because he spends a lot of time out there. I've got Andrew Nordbye on here. Andrew, as I mentioned before I got him on, is a Tackle Warehouse Invitational Pro. I think that's right. So it's called, Andrew? Now?
Yeah, that's what they named it this year.
The original FLW Major League Fishing. But is this your first year on that?
This is, yep.
Okay.
I qualified for it this year.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Because you, now you live in the Guntersville area, but you're not from here. Is that right?
Right. I moved here about 3.5 years ago from Missouri, Kansas City area.
How does a fella from Kansas City end up on Guntersville?
Well, I got open the door, but we went. My wife and I, she wanted warmer weather and I wanted better bass fishing. And I started working from home remotely before COVID, before a lot of people were doing it.
Right.
Freed us up to move, and we came.
Oh, that's a
where we fit.
Yeah, right. So you got to
We
watch.
left all our families in the same town, St. Joe, Missouri.
Really? So you still go?
Yeah.
That's still home as far as going to visit.
That's where we go back on the holidays.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you moved here for fishing.
Yes. Yep. I did.
Now, so tell us a little bit about Andrew Nordbye, how you got started. For those that don't know, more people listen to you than they do me. But for those that don't know, Andrew has a really large YouTube channel with a really good following and some cool videos out there. I'm just getting started. Like I told you before, I'm not a huge YouTuber, but it's growing on me. So,
Thanks,
tell us a little bit about who you are, and of course you told us how you got here, but just a little bit how you got started with all that.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It's just really been fun. I've been chasing professional bass fishing since I was 3, really. I got a note from my grandma saying I wanted to be a professional bass fisherman at the age of 4. She signed and dated it. So it's really been a passion that the Lord's put in me at a young age. And I bought my first boat in college. I fished in college. I didn't grow up fishing in a boat, but Dad and I grew up fishing all over in john boats and float tubes. We'd take those float tubes and flippers everywhere, fishing for all species. And then in college, I really started fishing tournaments and picking up a few sponsors and I was president of the bass team for a couple of years and got to fish all over the country and really get my feet into the tournament side of things and learn a lot. Mazingo Lake was the home lake. I went to Northwest Missouri State University, and it's in the northwest corner of Missouri, but a really good lake, and it had milfoil, it had standing timber, rock, you name it, and got to learn all sorts of styles of fishing there.
Right. So grass wasn't totally foreign to you when you moved here.
It had milfoil, yep.
Right.
It was
no floating eelgrass.
I learned to punch while I was up there. No eelgrass.
No. Yeah. the floating eelgrass is the new eelgrass. Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship there. So
you got to learn some tricks to navigate through that stuff.
Oh, no doubt. How or when did you get started with the YouTube thing? Because I mean, you've got like a lot of followers. I can't remember. It was 50,000+, I think, and on YouTube maybe. But how'd you get started with that?
Yeah. So I started it a year or two after college. I had been fishing what were the FLW Costas at the time, now the Toyota Opens, on the Major League Fishing side. But I'd been doing those for a couple of years, and I'd fished against Ben Milliken in a lot of tournaments, and he had started a channel about a year before, and I took him ice fishing and just really opened my eyes to it. And I thought I can do this too. And so I started doing it. I committed to putting out 3 fishing episodes a week back in January 2018. So it's been over 5 years now, and it's just grown. It's taken a lot of work and commitment and grinding to get it done. And you're talking 160 some episodes a year.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But when you're passionate about it, it makes it a lot better.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Now, if this makes you feel any better, and probably doesn't matter, but so I know who Andrew Fishing with Nordbye was before I know who the Milliken guy was. I just heard something about him not long ago, and I looked him up. And I went, "This dude's huge. I had no idea he even existed." So,
yeah,
he won he won something recently.
He did. He won a Bass Open. Yep.
Yeah,
and he just started doing the Bass Opens. It's his first year, and he's been building up to it, and he's a really good angler. I fished against him in college, and he went to Nebraska, and we fished local tournaments against each other.
And I guess with him not being from around here, maybe why I didn't know about it. But
sure, yeah, he moved down to Texas now.
Oh, okay, all right. So I just remember seeing something about well, the Milliken guy. He's just a YouTuber, and I'm like, and then I looked and I went, well, the dude's whacking them, And
he was a tournament angler before he was a YouTuber,
right?
Just like me,
right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, but. Yeah, so that's kind of how I got into it, and I film, all my tournaments especially, but when you're putting out 160 some episodes a year or more, you gotta go fishing a lot more than just tournaments.
Oh yeah, it has turned into a real job though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's grown, and it's a blessing, and I'm so thankful and grateful for all the people that have subscribed and enjoy watching me, and now it's really taken off.
So do you ever sleep, or do you just spend your time editing videos?
Well, the first 4 years I edited every single video. It takes 3 to 4 hours per video. And I was able to hire a video editor named Gentry about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I haven't edited but a handful of videos since. It's been
that's
awesome.
Great. Makes life a little, well, you've got a lot of things going on, because we've been talking about you coming on here since February, and I think you've been gone mostly since then.
Yeah. A lot of traveling with the pro circuit. I think I've been home this past week, but before that, I think I spent 3 nights at home in a whole month. It was nuts.
Yeah, that's well, you must have a really, really understanding wife.
Yes, she is. She's supportive, and she traveled with me to 2 of them. But we had cool. Smith Lake for a week, and then we had Eufaula, Oklahoma for a week, and then Chickamauga for a week, and then Lake of the Ozarks for a week. And really, it's 9 days at a time, not a week.
And you've done pretty well in a few of those too, didn't you?
Thank you, man. I did cash a check at all 4 of those. That's right. In a row.
And you were leading on one of them, Chickamauga, was it? Yeah, for a day
Ozarks.
Or 2? Yeah, Ozarks. Okay.
After day 2, I was second at Chickamauga, and then I was first after day 1 of the Ozarks in the Tackle Warehouse event. So that was awesome, leading the pro event. That was so cool.
What would you have to do? I can't remember. I can't keep up with it all, and it's changed so much in the last few years. But can you qualify for the Bass Pro Tour your first year on this?
Yes. If I make the top 8 in points.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting in 36th, I think, in points out of the 150 group of anglers. And if I make a top 10 at the next 2, I'd make it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It just gotta keep going. How many more events? 2, you said?
There's 2 more. Yep.
2 more.
Potomac River and La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Okay. Have you ever been to either one of those?
I've never been to the Potomac.
Are those going to be smallmouth?
There are smallmouth, but it's a lot of largies.
It
too.
will be. It
it's
won't
grassy river.
May have to break out that spinning rod.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So he and I, we're laughing about this. He and I were talking before I hit the record button about the Bass Pro Tour started today, and I meant to have him on before this started, and I totally screwed up the dates. That's 100% on me. And because he goes, man, I'm good any day early next week. And I went, well, how about Tuesday? I didn't look. I just assumed it started later in the week. So as we're talking, they've just finished up day one.
Yep, day one.
Jacob Wall, who I know is one of your friends, has absolutely hammered them today.
Yeah, he did. It was awesome. I got to watch him. I put the boat in and I stayed out there till about noon watching him and a few other guys.
That's pretty cool. And I told you they actually caught you on there talking to him for just a minute and said, well, hey, there's Andrew Nordbye.
That's awesome. So, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have heard it unless you were watching, because it was JT Kenny or one of those guys. But
that's awesome.
So we kind of know what's going down out there just from what they've done today. But do you think that it's going to be one deep? Because this is a different deal.
In my opinion, yes. If you would have asked me before today, I would have said yes, probably, but they're not set up like they should be.
I agree.
And then after today they actually got set up, I think, a little better than they've been all year. Today was the day where they started getting set up more.
Finally got hot.
Now, I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, but I heard they were set up pretty good when they were pulling a lot of current. But today they pulled more current than they have in a whole week. They've been pulling like 4,000 to 7,000 gallons, which isn't very much at all. It's nothing. And today they pulled 15,000. So I think it made them a little hungrier. That's still not a ton, but it's more than they have in a whole week. And I think it got them positioned and feeding a little more than they have been. Yeah, out deep.
So they fish again. The same group fishes again tomorrow. And then a different group fishes Thursday, Friday. Is that right?
I think they alternate. So,
so a different group
fishes. One was today. I think group 2's tomorrow, and then they
Okay.
go back.
I couldn't remember exactly how that went. So conditions can change. I know it's supposed to cool off a little bit. I don't think that's going to hurt. It's the time of year. The days are getting longer still, and the fish are on their way to the ledges. They just are. And, but man, there's a lot.
There
of
are plenty of fish that stay shallow in the grass all year.
There are, and there are a million bluegill up there.
They're spawning. Yeah, I just got done shell cracker fishing.
Yeah, right.
Days ago.
Yeah, and you caught some good ones
too.
That's right. We ran into each other at Honeycomb, and I had been out that Wednesday before and had run into a bed. I guess they were just showing up. Now, I was looking at them; they were shallow, and man, it was like an aquarium. There's bass swimming through. The shell crackers are up there rubbing bellies, like all the spawning. Yep. I mean, and I'm sitting there literally watching this. It was really cool. And
I saw the same thing everywhere I went. Where I found bluegill on bed, there were 2 to 4 pound bass prevalent swimming through, but you couldn't catch them.
Yeah, the water's so clear.
But did you go out at all after this weekend?
No, I did not.
It muddied up. All the party boats came out this weekend, and all the beds I could see when I saw you, the water, you could only see half as far.
Yeah.
So instead of 4 or 5 foot clarity, it was about 2 foot.
That might actually make it easier to catch the bass, but
yeah, probably.
But that bite's going to last another week or two, and then they're going to move on a little bit to that deeper grass. But I'm going to tell you, I was over in Langston midday today, and got a little cabin over there, and I had to carry some stuff over there. And I walked down on my dock, and it's just a dock, not a boathouse. But between my dock and the neighbor's dock, if there was one, there was 2,000 bluegill hanging out right there. Really? And I stood there for 3 minutes, and I watched a dozen different 2 to 4 pounders, like you said, swimming around. Wow. They weren't even eating. They were just looking. I even saw some gar coming up doing weird things.
Yeah, the gar were all over too. Yep, I saw that too.
It's crazy.
And then the carp are spawning too.
Yeah, I've got a trail camera that points at my dock to keep an eye on it, and I had a dude going by there with a bow in the middle of the day. He was drawn back. You could see him pointing his bow, shooting at a carp. And,
wow.
Which there's some big carp get under that dock. I've seen them. Wow. Before. So
that's funny.
So Guntersville.
Yeah.
It's hard to say how much weight do you think it's going to take because they zero them. But
exactly. I think personally, it is going to be one out deep, especially after today. I mean, Jacob Wall's fishing out deep. He fished a lot of the same ledges I do, and it was really cool to watch him fish them and catch them. And then seeing what you and I saw up on the bluegill beds with all those 2 to 4 pounders swimming through, I think somebody could go and catch them good doing that, but it's going to be hard to crack that 17, 18 pound mark because I didn't see anything over 4 pounds, Pat.
I agree, and they're hard to catch.
They are. You'd have to know where they're at and just sit way off and fan cast them, I think.
With and watching those guys online, and they're throwing spinning rods in like 8 or 10 pound line, that'd make me nervous. That's brim tackle, you know.
Yeah, I know. I go at least 12.
12 is light line for me, but now according to some of the folks that the Guntersville's changing with this clear water, and I'm a dinosaur. I need to break out a spinning rod and some 8 pound line.
It's not getting that clear. It was there for a little bit.
It just in places, yeah, just in places. So
yeah,
so they're going to zero. They fished, each group fishes 2 days, and then they take the top so many from that. And their final day is going to, I mean, like their champion or the day that gets
scratch.
Them. Right.
It's anybody's game.
On Sunday. Would that be right?
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. My daughter's going to get mad at me.
With the live feed and everything and people running by.
Pressure's changing.
Knowing what's going on. What was crazy to me, Pat, is I've never really seen it firsthand like this because I've never watched an event from the boat. But Jacob Wall had 3 for 10 pounds. And then a couple boats ran by and saw him, of course, but the score tracker, within 15 minutes, he had 22 pounds for his best 5. Both of those boats showed back up, fished right next to Jacob within 15 minutes of him catching those fish.
See, I don't like that.
It's different. It's definitely different. That's part of the live reporting. I mean, these guys know the lake and know the ledges too, but it's different.
Oh, look, if you fish regular weekend tournaments on Guntersville, if you're catching a fish and somebody drives by, they're liable to sit down there with you. That's not the way I was raised, but it happens. And I mean, it just does. I blame that dating way back to when the Alabama rig came out. That's when it became okay for everybody to sit at each other and throw at bridges. And then it just went everywhere else. And that's my theory. Yeah. You know, when that came out, it just personal respect for those things just went out the window. So,
at least got to be courteous. And if somebody's, in these pro events and whatnot, if somebody's sitting on a ledge, I really want to fish, I'll ease up behind them and kind of get in there quiet. And then I'll ask them, hey man, I was really hoping to fish these. You care if I throw in there or off to the side and then just see what they say?
Sure.
That's about as courteous as you can get.
Right.
But otherwise, if you're not going to do that, just don't even fish it,
Right. Can't wait till they're gone. Come back later. So right now, if you were going fishing just for fun, what are you going to be fishing with?
On the deck of my boat, I left my rods out. So I have 3/4 of them are deep and 1/4 of them are shallow. So I got the Wacky rig, the Nico up there shallow, and then I got all my deep stuff on the deck.
Right.
So I like fishing deep more than I like fishing shallow. I've been fishing shallow all year. And if I'm going out there fishing, I'm going out there to catch some deep fish. Yeah,
you're ready. It's time. They're really late compared to the last few years.
They are late. They had that tackle warehouse event here last May that Jacob did good in, and they're not out there like they were then. But he caught them way better than he did last year. It's cracking me up.
Right, he just caught the right ones.
Caught the good ones. Yeah, it was amazing. Blessed day for sure.
Yeah, I remember he had to go up shallow and throw a dinger in some various places. Some last year, I remember seeing that. But of course, it was one deep. Nick LeBrun won it because he came on here and talked with me afterwards on it, and
nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and here. I felt bad about this, and I didn't know it till after the fact, but I got out fishing on the Wednesday before they started, me and a buddy, and we ran into some fish and started whacking on them pretty good, and it turns out that was where he ended up winning the tournament. I had no idea. Yeah,
really?
But yeah, well, on that Wednesday afternoon before, we laid into them pretty good. And,
wow.
And
that was pretty old, if I remember right.
It was. Yeah, out there on the river. Yeah, sure was. And there was a log out there, and that log got relocated. Somebody moved it.
I know.
Somebody hooked their boat to it and drug it somewhere else. So, which is kind of funny. So
it is. But looking at the score tracker right now, and after day one, Nick LeBrun, who won this time of year, is in 39th out of 40th with only 4 fish for 10 pounds. If that tells you how much the river's changed.
Oh yeah, it's every year's different. So, what's your take on this eelgrass? How long you've been here for? How long?
3.5 years.
So you haven't really ever known Guntersville without it,
right? My
What,
take on still annoying.
it's
fun for bed fishing season though, because they really get up in it in the holes.
Right, and the holes are easy to see when there's a solid carpet and then there's a white spot in the middle of it. So,
yes, yeah.
And I'm not much of a sight fisherman, but I can see why that's fun. Have you had to do much sight fishing on tour with where you've been, or were you?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I probably should have done a little more than I have, but at Lake of the Ozarks and on Chickamauga, I sight fished during the tournament and caught some good ones. But the majority of my good fish, even at those events, were not caught sight fishing.
It was a little bit of everything else. So that's nothing wrong with that.
Little mainly on wood, lay down stumps, brush. I like fishing a little bit deeper if I can get away with it.
So I've never done. They have these fantasy fishing team deals, and I've never done that. And I know it's a thing, but I was looking.
Yeah.
I was looking at the names of the people in the Bass Pro Tour that know Guntersville. I could not pick 10 of them. There's probably 30 people in there that could win on Guntersville at any given time.
Yeah. Wow.
I
wow.
mean, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. Pick 10 of them. Tell me your top. Tell me who's going to be fishing on Sunday.
Ooh. All right. Well, only being here 3.5 years, I don't have the history like you do. Didn't Takahiro win it on a spook one year?
It's possible. I can't remember that, but it is possible. And it mixes up between bass and the other things, so I don't totally remember. Yeah.
Timmy Horton loves the ledges. Chris Lane lives here. Justin Lucas. I would say Jacob Wall.
Yeah, don't forget tomorrow's people either.
Yeah, Jacob Wall. I think Justin Lucas, Chris Lane have a good shot just because they all live here.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, Matt Lee both live here. They got a good shot. They're both fishing this event, aren't they?
Yeah, they should be. Well, yeah, they are. I think they both still be. I know Jordan is. I'm pretty sure Matt is too. But they'll be in tomorrow's group because they weren't in today's.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to look at tomorrow's group. Group B. Yeah. I think I would like to say both of them would make it. Boyd Duckett lives here. I think he would make it. That he is as busy as the guys he is. He finds plenty of time to be out here on the lake. I see him all the time.
He lives on the lake, so he just comes home, hops in the boat.
He's got a boat ramp. Yeah. Mark Rose, Tennessee River legend.
I know. Is he tomorrow?
He is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's done real well here before.
He's gonna do good if I had to guess. Jacob Wheeler, Tennessee River legend.
I forget about him. How I forgot about him, I do not know. But you're right.
Yeah. I'd like to see Randy Howell in it. I think he was fishing up shallow today.
For sure he was. Yeah, he was on the bubble just below the cut line, I think, at the end of it today.
Yeah, catch a good bag. I'd like to see him in it.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. Laker Hal and I are workout buddies, and we travel together in the tackle warehouse events.
Roommates. I got you.
Yeah.
I remember y'all went somewhere spot fishing. Somewhere not that long ago. One of the days we were going to try to get together, you were headed to Georgia or Tennessee or somewhere and caught some Mondo spots, I think.
Catching spots. I put that video out. We caught some magnums. Yeah, it was fun.
That's pretty fun. So it's hard to pick just 10 when you start looking at the list, isn't it?
Isn't it? You got so many.
Well, I mean, there's probably 20 that live here. So, or have lived here. I know Jordan and Matt both moved back to Coleman, but they spend a lot of time here. So
yeah, still close.
So let's just pick a weight on Sunday and pretend Sunday's the last day in case we're wrong. It zeros and starts over, right?
Yeah, it's zeros.
All right. So I'm not going to make you name a name because there's way too many things that can happen between now and then. How much weight's he going to take on Sunday? That's a one-day tournament, basically.
Right. Being first cast into the school, the thing about Guntersville is it gets so much pressure. First cast into that school, is going to make or break these guys. Honestly, I think you might pick up a big one later, but you get 1, 2, or 3 bites out of a school before they get smart and they won't touch anything for a while.
Right. After they get busted up. Yeah.
Yep. So as far as naming names, it's going to be tough, but yeah.
20, you think it'll be 25, 26?
I don't. They're going to get beat on for 5 days in a row. And I'm going to say 22.
22.
Which would be in 4th place today.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. No, I don't disagree.
22 to win it.
Tuesday fish. And today Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday fish are a lot better than Saturday and Sunday fish.
Yeah, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday.
That's a lot, yeah.
5 days of getting their heads pounded in. If somebody catches 22, I think they'll be in contention to win.
Right. No, I would say that 22, 23. We'll see what happens. It's going to be fun to watch. I said on my little opener before I brought you on here that I'm sure there's some other people than me that kind of had one eye on one monitor watching that while they were kind of working on the other screen, and wasn't quite as productive today as I would have liked to have been. But
right.
So it's probably going to happen. I can't spend as much time watching as I need to. My daughter graduates high school this weekend, and I've got a lot of stuff I got to get done. Oh, thank you. And we've got awards day on Friday, and then she graduates Sunday afternoon, but we've got a recognition thing at church on Sunday morning, and then a concert Friday night. A wedding, the ring bearer from my wedding is getting married Saturday afternoon. So,
wow.
Yeah, that makes me feel old. I'm not going to lie. But so I have a cram-packed weekend. I'm not going to get to pay a whole lot of attention to those things. Few graduation parties. It's not going to get to go fishing until Memorial Day probably, which is a terrible time to go fishing. But that's okay. So we're going to get her out of high school and get her headed to college in the fall. And she wants to be a vet. So I've got 8 years of college to look forward to if that works out.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that long for veterinary.
Yeah, 4-year undergrad, 4-year college. I told her the first 4 I'd help with. After that, she might be on her own. So.
Yep, you're being a doctor.
Yeah, well, that's what she's always wanted to do. We'll see how it works out. So,
wow.
Well, Andrew, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really appreciate you coming on. We're going to get you back on again. You're not too far away. One day I'm going to get you. No. You're like 25 minutes from where my office is out here in Owens Crossroads. So one day I'm going to get you in here with Trey. And because Trey's kind of nuts, and it'll be. He adds.
We fish all the Tuesday nighters against each other.
Oh yeah,
and Gerald too, and we go at it. It'd be fun.
It'll and those start back up, by the way, next Tuesday.
They do. Yeah, we're going to be fishing them weeks from today.
And it's looking like it's going to set up to be a fun little afternoon ledge bite. So, it's always better.
You can't beat that
on
here.
Tuesday afternoons.
It is.
Yeah,
they really bite better.
They normally pull water. Yeah,
they do. They do.
But that should be fun. So I can't thank you enough for coming on, chatting with us a little bit. Fishing with Nordbye is his YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, check it out. He puts out some pretty good stuff. You really worked on the crappie this winter.
Thank you.
And
we smashed them.
And as long as I fished this lake, I don't know much about catching crappie. So I've been looking at it a little bit because I've kind of gotten mad at them. Live scope has changed crappie fishing, and
it has.
It also makes you very frustrated.
42 feet.
42 feet.
I found a group in 42 feet. Yeah, it's called Massive Crappie Are Hiding Deep in the River. That's the name of the video.
Okay. I've been trying to figure. I don't know why I want to catch them. It's more like because I found a group that I think that looked like crappie. I think they were set up like crappie. I spent an hour and a half one day trying to catch them. Could not get a bite. Could watch them swim up to it and eat it. Or nip at it and wouldn't eat it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to figure it all out.
Put that thump gel on, Pat.
It may be it. I don't know. I haven't tried that. So
that's good stuff.
Makes a difference.
They'll eat it. It does.
I got frustrated and I decided then I was mad at them, and come about February next year, I'm going to figure out how to catch them. So I have to get my whole deer and duck obsession out of the way before I start fishing again. I'm seasonal. I kind of change gears. So, but anyway, Andrew, thank you very much for coming on, talking with us for a little bit. Remember, Fishing with Nordbye, where you can find him, and follow him on the Tackle Warehouse deal. He's doing really well. He could end up on the Bass Pro Tour next year. So good luck to you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Means a lot.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Bye. I appreciate Andrew coming on, talking with us just a little bit. I really wanted to do a preview of what to expect. And again, I'm a day late, so we kind of already know what to expect. And it's changing. The guys are catching them. Tomorrow's another day. We'll see what Group B does. As far as tournaments that are coming up, the rest of May, there's not a whole lot going on other than your Wildcats. The Tuesday afternoon All Reds tournament starts back up. I think it runs from 4 till dark. It's pretty expensive, $50 or so a boat. And you better bring your A game because you're going to be fishing against the likes of Nordbye and Jacob Wall and Gerald Swindle and anybody else who wants to show up. It's open to everybody. It's a Guntersville Low Pro on the Facebook page. They have where they kind of announce it, but it is open to anybody, and it starts Tuesday the 23rd. I think that's right. Yeah, Tuesday the 23rd. First part of June, we got the Big Bass Splash, June 9th through the 11th, and then we had a new one added up here recently. The Sylvania Rams Open Tournament will be June the 17th. You can find information about all that on the bassandbiggg.com website. And until next time, enjoy the floating grass.